So, as I understand it, you actually met R. Kelly in prison before his trial began.
Well, I met with him in 2019 in the Chicago federal holdings area. I met with him there in Chicago, and he was there to potentially screen me as an attorney. When I first met with him, he was locked down like an animal. I mean, I can tell you, I've been in a number of prisons. I've been in prisons actually in other countries. I'd never seen anybody who's treated like the animal that R. Kelly was. It's the first time I've had to meet somebody who was in handcuffs. We were within a stone's throw away. I mean, from an interstate serial killer and who looked like Hannibal Lecter.
For more, let's bring in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Vinoo Varghese. Vinoo, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Sure.
So jury deliberations went on for about 9 hours total, fairly swift for a trial of this magnitude. Was this the outcome that you expected?
There was no other outcome that I could see based upon the charging in this case, the negative publicity, the missteps by lawyers, and R. Kelly himself in all of this. So there was nothing but bad things that were going to happen for R. Kelly as a result of this verdict.
Do we have a sense why we didn't hear from R. Kelly during the trial?
Well, look, he has the absolute right to remain silent, right? That's in the Constitution of the United States. In a case like this, it wouldn't make any sense for him to testify. The key was to attack the prosecution case and challenge it. And unfortunately, it was a tall order for the defense.
You've defended a bunch of high-profile clients before. Where does this case compare to those? And your opinion, I mean, obviously everyone's entitled to a free trial, but do high-profile defendants like R. Kelly get a fair shake given all the pretrial publicity, or is it nearly impossible for them to get a fair trial?
I think the Bill Cosby case is one that was case in point of that somebody like, you know, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein. I mean, Harvey Weinstein's case is yet to be decided on appeal. But, you know, Bill Cosby's case shows that he didn't get a fair trial. He had a deal, he had something in place with the prosecutors, and, you know, he wasn't given a fair shake. And, you know, he's out, he's free. So, you know, R. Kelly did not, I think it's incredible to use a statute this way to prosecute monsters. And for the most part, you don't see that many criminal RICO trials anymore. You see these cases brought on the civil side to go after certain types of organizations. So I think it's difficult, and unfortunately for him, he didn't have the resources. His personal fortune was pretty much gone. So, you know, he didn't have the resources to fight this case the way that he needed to.
So, as I understand it, you actually met R. Kelly in prison before his trial began. Explain to us why you were there. And secondly, what do you believe is next, given that there's another federal trial for him coming up in Chicago?
Well, I met with him in 2019 in the Chicago MDC. And that's the federal holdings area. And this was before I don't recall if it was exactly before the Brooklyn case came out. Actually, the Brooklyn case, I met with him there in Chicago, and he was there to potentially screen me as an attorney. He didn't have the resources to hire me or my firm, and I knew he was meeting with a bunch of people. When I first met with him, he was locked down like an animal. I mean, I can tell you, I've been in a number of prisons. I've been in prisons actually in other countries to meet with people here who are being extradited back to the United States. I'd never seen anybody who's treated like the animal that R. Kelly was in the Chicago MDC. He was put in the shoe. It's the first time I've had to meet somebody who was in handcuffs. We were within a stone's throw away. I mean, from an interstate serial killer and who looked like Hannibal Lecter. It was something else. I had personally never experienced it. I've been practicing at the time, hitting my 20th year of practice. It was extraordinary. He didn't need to be in that kind of situation for what he was charged with, being this close to a serial killer or alleged serial killer, let me be clear. But, you know, that's how he was treated. And it took him months to get out of that solitary and into general population. And I met with him a second time after that, and he had been broken. He wasn't the same person. I actually questioned his mental fitness. And I think that's something that needed to be looked into. Ultimately, he didn't have the resources to hire me, but I was concerned about him as a person. I can't really tell you what we discussed, but what I can tell you is my impressions of him, and he wasn't all there.
Vinoo Varghese, we appreciate you joining us to talk about the R. Kelly case. Obviously, it's not over yet, but we'll continue to track it. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.